All right, everybody, welcome back to another video. Here I have a video titled, I'm 35, single, never been married, never had kids, and feel like a child. Let's go ahead and see what she has to say. Let's get into it.
So I'm 35, single, never been married, never had kids, and I feel like a child. Now bear with me. Listen to this. Firstly, everyone, please, I would love for you all just to hit the subscribe button right now, because the reason for that is I want this channel to grow. I want this to be a community for women, and I would just love you to take just a couple of seconds right now just to hit that subscribe button. That would mean the world to me. And so let's get back to it. So I'm 35, I'm single, and I have no kids. I've never been married, and I feel like a child. Yes.
That's rough because we all know after, I want to say 35 plus, that's where it starts to get dangerous for having kids. And I don't know about you guys, but if I was in the market for having a family, I would not choose 35.
This is very true. And if you are in your 30s and you have either one of these elements, you will understand exactly what I mean. There is something very odd and peculiar about 30 plus and not having, I guess, everything configured and put together, okay? And
A lack of leadership.
I somewhat feel like a child. And by the way, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being 30 plus and not having everything in place, but I've got to be honest, I'm coming on this channel.
And I know what she's trying to say is like, oh, I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. I get that. But in this context, yes, there is. It's like if I gave you the opportunity to have all these things, but you were 29 and under, would you accept it? You're going to say yes. If I were to say in your 20s or in your 30s, I'm assuming that most people are going to choose when they were younger, right? Just because of there's less risk involved.
To be honest about my experience and how I'm feeling, and I do feel a little bit like a child. I feel that I lack responsibility in a way that other adults have, and it's something that I kind of envy in a sense. I envy that adult responsibility because I just don't feel like it's aligning, and it's somewhat very confusing. I'm in like a juxtaposition of being an adult but also wanting the responsibility and not having it of an adult, and I don't really know. It's a weird feeling to have that position.
In other words, she hasn't grown up yet. And so I'm glad that she put in her title that I feel like a child, because this is what a lot of people go through, where they didn't grow up mentally. Physically, they grew up, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, they haven't grown up and accepted the next position. Now you feel like a child, but you're 35 and you still have the responsibilities of being an adult, right? Going to work, paying your bills, other adult things, right? But you feel like at the same time you don't know what you're doing, right? Because at this point in your age, you're supposed to be a mother, you're supposed to be a wife. Now you're gonna have a bunch of people say, oh well, she can do whatever she wants and but yada yada. Cool. I'm talking about the average individual, and the average individual, by the time they reach 35, they already have a couple children, or they are in a serious relationship. And again, I'm talking about women here, because as men, we throw away our 20s, and then in the 30s, we're like, oh, we've been a knucklehead. Let's go ahead and get into this. And then family life works out great for us. It just works that way. However, for women, it's completely different. We don't value a lot of experience with women. So the younger they are, the more that we're trying to make something happen.
Anyway, so yeah, it's just an odd feeling, because at this age, at 35, I would have expected that I at least have a boyfriend. You know, I would have thought I'd at least had one of these elements, at least have a partner. I would have at least had a child. I would have at least, I don't know, experienced marriage in my lifetime before 35. And I haven't experienced any of these adult-like responsibilities. Okay, I live by myself, so that is a responsibility, but I crave other responsibilities, i.e. becoming a mother. I just feel like there's a level of responsibility for another life that you cannot equate that or have the same level of correlation to paying rent or to doing those things. It's a completely different level of responsibility.
Right, because being a mother matters. Living on your own, paying rent, which is essentially paying for somebody else's investment, you don't really care. Like, that's not anything to be proud of if you finished. Now financially, it's like, oh wow, congratulations, but that's nowhere near the fulfillment of parenthood or being in a marriage. And I think she touches on something that's very important. Whereas she doesn't have these things, and I can guarantee it's because there was nobody in her life telling her this should be priority number one. In fact, what probably happened, and I'm not saying her dad's not in her life, I don't know this creator, but what I am saying is usually women in this position are listening to the wrong voices. They're listening to other women, they're listening to social media, and now they're in a place where they have these degrees, they're making this amount of money, and they're pickier than ever. And now it's like, well, I kind of want the things that they told me not to want. And again, she's 35 plus, right? So she's at the point, hormonally speaking, where her body's like come on before it's too late, you know? And so I think all these emotions that she's feeling now should have been felt at 18, or somebody should have said, hey, let's focus on this, let's focus on this. Because deep down, no matter what women say they want, there is, on average, a woman's going to want to be a wife, a woman's going to want to be a mother, and a woman's going to want to be respected and cared for, yada yada. And I think a lot of people are just not telling women that, or they're not trying to make women have it as a priority.
And it's a level of responsibility that, from my experience of what I've heard from people that have had children, completely changes your life as a person. You completely become somebody different, and there is something bigger than you, which I really want to experience. That I really want to experience, to become the most selfless person that I can. And I think having children forces you to be as much as a selfless person as possible, and to take the focus off on you but have another responsibility. And it's just something I really crave. And it makes me quite upset. I mean, to be honest, yesterday I was literally had a bit of a breakdown because I was crying at the fact that I don't have this responsibility and why I don't have it. And it just made me really sad to know that I don't have that yet. And that I know I'm 35. I really know that I'm running out of time. Maybe I've got a year left max. I know. But it just made me really sad to know that potentially I would never have that level of responsibility. And I don't like to put that out there in the universe, because I truly believe what you speak into existence comes into fruition, into your reality. However, any other woman that is, 30 plus and doesn't have all these things yet, maybe you're not married, maybe you don't have a partner, maybe you don't have kids, maybe you are married and you don't have kids. I don't know, maybe you have one of the elements. But there is something maybe as well that you feel like you're an adult, but you almost feel like a child. And I don't know how to explain it or put it into words, but I'm very much an adult. I very much take on responsibility. I mean, I live by myself. I pay for my own things, so it's not like I don't have a level of responsibility. It's just, there is something missing. There is something missing in my life. And I don't know, is it love? Am I missing?
It's a man. You're missing a man, a masculine man. I know exactly what she's when she's talking in my ear from a masculine perspective. I know exactly what she's talking about. What she's missing is direction. You understand? Because if I were to come into her life, I have a position ready for her that's tailored to her strengths and her weaknesses. And I say, this is where you belong. And again, where she belongs is going to not only put her in a place of thriving, but it's going to allow her to get the same emotions that she's feeling. Sacrifice for something that is bigger than you and me. This is what we're doing. We're building. You get what I'm saying? And if a woman doesn't have that type of masculine figure in her life, then she ends up wandering, doing whatever she wants. And a woman left to her own devices, I'll let the data speak for that.
Love? Or am I missing the thought of having a child? I don't quite know what it is. I mean, if you're a woman in your 30s and you're feeling the same way, please comment below and let me know what this feeling is. Because I know.
And I can guarantee you there's going to be women in the comments that says, don't let society tell you when's the right time. And it's like, we're not really, society's kind of built on the fact that you have a time limit before you can get these things successfully and easily.
No, I know I'm not the only one when I'm trying to explain this, and it's really hard to put it into words, because unless you're 30 plus, or in your 30s, or maybe you're in your late 20s and you have this feeling as well, or in your 40s, I don't know, but I can only speak as a woman in her 30s, and it's just a weird, odd feeling. And you look back at like other generations, previous generations before, and you realize how much responsibility and adult-like responsibilities they took on so early on. I mean, also I'm not envious of that, but I think maybe in the world that we're living in now, it makes it really hard for you to have this level of responsibility because of the, things that are, economic differences, and there's so many other different factors. Also, I'm going to take accountability here as well. I mean, I haven't got just 35 just being single and never being married, never been married, never had kids. So I don't know, maybe it's a poor choice in partners maybe that I've chosen, or I haven't allowed myself to open up to that experience, which I can take full accountability for. However, I'm here at this point now, so I've just got to go with where I'm at this point in my phase of life.
I think that's very important, and she should go back and look at what were you doing, what were you doing for the past 15 years. That's what I want to know. Who were you looking for? Because if this is what I'm talking about, it's like if you give a woman the instructions to get what she wants, she's gonna get it done. And so that's why it's very hard for me to empathize with people who waited this late, because it's like you had 15 years. And again, she's not ugly. Let's not be those guys, right? She's not ugly. And I'm sure 15 years ago she was even prettier. So it's not like you didn't have options. It was more so as, what were you focusing on? Did you say what a lot of other girls are saying, which is, I'm just going to wait throughout my whole 20s, and then when I hit like 29, 30, that's when I'm going to make the jump, make the move? Were you that type of person? But essentially, what were your goals? Because it wasn't a wife, it wasn't being raising a family, or being a husband, or being a wife, being a mother. It can't be, because that means you weren't focusing on it.
I can't keep harping on about maybe what could have been in the past, because the past is never going to crawl back to me. It's done. It's done. So all I can do is live in this moment and move forward. So, but I wanted to express that because I do feel that there are a collective group of women in their 30s that I can just speak of. If you're younger or older, all women are welcome in this conversation. But I just feel that you get to a certain age and you don't have all these things lined up, okay? Mm-hmm. And it feels very peculiar. Especially when you start looking at people that are much younger than you, that have families, that have all these things. And it just makes you feel very ostracized a little bit in this realm of becoming a woman. And to become a woman that doesn't need to include all those things. But for me, that's one of my goals, is to be a mother. One of my goals is to have love. One of my goals is to maybe to be married one day. And it's just strange to think I've never had these adult experiences. I know there's women at my age that have had kids, they got married, been divorced by this age, got married again. I know there's stories out there, and I'm just thinking, I've never been through this experience. Mm-hmm. I've never been through it, I mean, what?
There's two experiences. There's the experience that the traditional society is trying to get you to, which is once you're either in college, high school, college, or directly out of college, you immediately get married and you immediately start having children while your husband is working on a career, making more money, yada, yada. Or there's the feminist way, the one that's been introduced, which is like, you're a woman, you can do whatever it is you want because all these options are always going to be here. You have power because you have a coochie. And a lot of girls take that route. And then again, now they're 35 and they're like, oh, you know what? Deep down, this is what I actually wanted. And it's like, well, there was two paths, and you told us with your actions that you didn't value a marriage. You didn't value kids. You didn't value a husband.
What does that make me? Like, what does that make me at this age? Like, should I have been through this experience by now? Should I have been married by now? Should I have had kids by now? Should I, and it just, I question my point in life right now, because I do feel that there's a lack of purpose in me in the sense of the bigger picture of life. And what I mean by that is I feel a kind of emptiness at my age for the lack of this responsibility. I truly believe, now this is maybe not for everyone, but I truly believe one of my greatest advantages as a woman is to be able to procreate and give birth and to have a child. It's one of my goals. Now, I'm not saying if you're a woman and you can't do that.
When did you have that goal? And when did you make it a priority?
That doesn't put you in a realm of that you're less or more than. Not at all. I'm just speaking about my experience of what I truly want in life. And I really would love to have a child and to nurture a child, to bring up a child. And I would love to be a mother. And I'm very, very aware that my time is very limited. Like, I'm 35. This means that, pregnancy is much more difficult at 35. It also means it's much more dangerous. There's only so many other factors here. And so I do know my time is very limited here to have that experience. And I just don't want to miss it you know? And it just causes me such an emptiness to know that that is a possibility. And also
Mm-hmm.
this lack of responsibility I have, I feel so childlike. Like, as much as I've got so much freedom at my age of not having kids, not being married, not doing being like, I have so much freedom. I lack responsibility in that sense. Yes, I have my own place. I have to, to make sure that I'm looking after myself. But other than that, I don't have any responsibility. And some people be like, yay, I love that. That's amazing. But for me, it's not amazing. It's not. And for me, it's not. And when people tell you, like, when you get older and, maybe you don't want these things, but I don't want to give that message out, to be honest, to women, because I do think there is something very important. And now I've lived by myself for more than 2 years plus, and there is something very, very important around connection. There is something very important that a man and a woman being together, you can grow and learn from each other. I'm not here to say, oh, men do this, men. Yes, there's bad men, there's bad women in the world, A part of the reason why we attract these is our choice and where we are in life. So we have to take some accountability for that, me included. But I still believe that connection is so important. I truly believe that family is very important. Having your family, if that's what you want to do, is so important and a beautiful thing, and not something that should be like, oh, I get it, be independent. I understand all that. But
When did these thoughts truly matter to you? When? Because you can't tell me it was the whole time. Because you talking like that at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, it's going to attract a certain man to you, especially if the fun guys hear that. They're like, okay, this is obviously not for me. You get what I'm saying? But was that a priority in your actions, or did you try to have your cake and eat it too, but realized you are making your decision?
I don't want to be a 50-year-old woman just with no responsibility, just other
Mm-hmm.
than paying for my place. I don't want that. I want responsibility. I'm craving that. I'm craving it so badly. And I know that once, because I'm walking around, like I can literally just walk around. I've got no responsibility, like really rarely responsibility at this age. And I'm just walking around, I could be just going out
Purposeless. Purposeless.
and like, I'll look at like a woman with a child, and I just think, at one point, yeah, it's so easy. I can just get up, go wherever I want, do what I want. It's so easy for me to do that. I don't have to think. I don't have to plan. I literally don't have to do anything. My life is pretty easy peasy. But then I look at women with a child, and yeah, you can walk past. There's two different ways you can view this. You can walk past and there'll be a screaming kid, and you'll be like, thank God. Whew, yeah. And then you can look past it the next time, and there'll be a mother just like watching her child play, or just being very caring to her child. And or you'll see a child there just going towards their mother, and it's just like, you are responsible for that human being's happiness, well-being. And I think that is so amazing, and I think it pushes you into another level of adulthood that I just really want to experience. So I just want to know, like, do other women understand my point here? Like, you're an adult, you're in your 30s, but you crave responsibility. I crave it
Mm-hmm.
so badly. And I'm trying to understand what this is. And maybe there's other women that can explain this to me, what I'm feeling right now, what this is. I'm just craving more responsibility. I feel weird. I feel like I'm a 20-something-year-old. Like, my level is at like a young 20, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 35. And it's very odd.
Right. The person that she has in her mind is a person that is looking for a relationship, looking to be married, looking for children, looking to for a husband. Okay. And if I asked her, if I got her down and we took out a journal, which you should have a journal, if I took out her journal and I said, what are the qualities that man, the husband of your dreams, wants in a woman? What are the qualities? Is she feminine? Is she submissive? Is she somebody who focuses on wifely duties? Like, who is that person? Describe that person. I can almost guarantee that she has no idea. Zero idea, never worked on it. And so, again, you're a child mentally because you've never built that person up. You never went through the trials and tribulations. You never went through the sacrifices, right? This is why a lot of girls who are 25, 26 getting married is not because they're 25, 26. It's because since the 16, they've been focusing on, okay, how can I be more compassionate? How can I be a better communicator? How can I be more feminine? How can I dress more feminine? How can I take care of my man? They're doing this naturally, whether they have an example of that in their house or they want it so bad that they're willing to go out and study and find mentors and things of that nature, right? This is what it is. And the reason why she feels so young but old is simply because while she was aging physically, she wasn't aging mentally. This is where we get grown adults. Listen, if you're past the age of 25, you know you will meet grown adults who act like children, who act like high school never ended. And that's exactly what happened. They never grew up mentally, emotionally, or spiritually.
To have such minimal responsibility at my age. For me, I don't know. I feel very like almost like teenage like. I don't know. I could walk. I don't know what it is. I just don't feel like a full. Like I just don't feel like an adult. Like a fully grown woman. I really feel like a child sometimes. I do. I feel like a child sometimes, and it's not a good feeling. For me, it's not a good feeling. It's a very uncomfortable feeling, to be honest. I need to get myself some responsibility in my 30s. I really do. Like, women, just please let me know in the comments if you know exactly what I mean. It's really hard to put this into words where I'm trying to explain in a way, but I truly believe, like, I understand the evolution of life now. I understand why probably we age the way we do, why there are certain biological clocks and times of the way we do, because I do believe maybe at certain ages we are meant to have certain levels of responsibilities if that's what you want and that's what you choose. And if that is something that you want and you don't have that by this age, it does become a weird existence. So for me, it is feeling very weird. I feel very, very childlike in an adult, grown person's mind. And so yeah, women that relate to this, just know that you're not alone. If you're 30 something, you don't have all these things and responsibilities, and you feel somewhat childlike in a way, just know that you're not alone. I feel that too, and it's definitely a real feeling. And the feeling is very much valid to why you feel like that. And don't be too harsh on yourself. I try not to be too harsh on myself, and to sit in that feeling too long. But it is a feeling right now that I'm finding it difficult to shrug off, and I'm almost a little bit embarrassed by it as well, that I don't have all these things, because it is something that I really do desire. And I'm embarrassed in the sense of, like, I just personally don't fully feel like a fully grown 35-year-old woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't, and I don't know how to explain it. I know I've got a young soul. I always knew that. Like, I know that, but I want some responsibility. God damn it, universe, can you hear me?
And that's another thing for men. When you're on your masculine journey, when you're in a relationship, what is the role of your girlfriend? What is the role of your wife? Because here you have a girl, and just because she's 35 doesn't mean she's the only one that thinks this way. A lot of women think this way. When they get into talking to you or a relationship with you, they're looking for responsibility. What can you as a man give her, that way she can soak up the game and be who you need her to be in this relationship? A lot of guys don't know that either. I know there's a lot of guys I talk to they don't even have direction for their own life. You have to give yourself direction so you know where a person like this fits in your life. And then you give her the direction to give her a little bit, just to see if she's the type of person that like, what's next? What's next? How can I help? How can I sacrifice? You get what I'm saying?
Some positive responsibility, So yeah. So I just wanted to voice that, really, because I don't know if many other women voice that or feel that, or maybe I'm too embarrassed to say that. Mm-hmm. But I just want to voice that. And if any women...
A lot of women don't voice it because, again, the majority of their feminist years was simply put like, oh, decenter men, oh, we don't need men, oh, men this, men that. And like the whole time, then they get to this age and realize, like, dang, I really could have used a man all these years. Now you have to say, I was wrong. Yeah, please. A lot of women are run by their pride.
In their 30s that met someone later on in life, please comment below. Or your life, just you got all these responsibilities, you got married, I don't know, you had a kid later on. Please feel free to share this. And if you have gone through a phase before where you're an adult woman, but you definitely feel you lack the responsibility or have things all in order and you feel somewhat childlike as well. And when I say childlike, I don't mean your mindset. I don't mean that your growth, your thing is. I just mean an existence or feeling like you lack the fully grown adult experience that you thought you would have had by a certain age. And it's just an odd feeling walking around this world, lacking these responsibilities for me personally. So if you understand and, kind of have that feeling too, please comment and just share. And so we're not alone here. I'm doing this to know that my thoughts, someone else can understand this. And there's another woman that gets this as well, because it's very lonely experience sometimes when you're in this position, because because a lot of women in your 30s, they have a lot of their stuff, like they're married or they've got kids, and when you don't have any of these things, it can sometimes feel quite a lonely experience. Like there's no other woman out there, that has this. And I just want to make sure that that there is, i.e. me. And in the comments section, hopefully, it's a place for us just to talk about it, really. And hopefully, you never know, look, in a year's time, my life might change. I don't know, next week my life might change. I hope so. I hope I meet the love of my life. But it's very treacherous out there, the dating scene. But I'm going to put out that it's not. So it's not, I don't want to put like it's like that, because then it's going to be like that. But, maybe it can just change overnight. And I truly believe it can. And I've put myself in a realm of, I've really got to be a bit more open. I have to put myself, take accountability for where I am also, and what's led up to me being at this age with these things. And there are many different factors that play into that, which in future videos I will talk about as well. And because it does get a bit deeper, but I promised myself that if I got in a position where I'd be living by myself, that I would speak about this as well. And I think that'll be a very helpful video. But yeah, it's just, there's many different factors here that why someone could get to this age and not have all these things in place. And but I do know that I do have to consciously and conscientiously, I hope I said that right, make a really thought out kind of effort now going forward. And the women in 30s, you know what I'm talking about. It's mad out there, and we've really got to put if you're single
and notice what she said, right? Let me go back and make sure she said
a really thought out kind of, I hope I said that right, make a really thought out kind of effort now going forward. And the women in 30s, you know what I'm talking about. It's mad out there, and we've really got to put
now we have a conscious effort. We should have had a conscious effort at 18, 17, 19, 20, 21. There should have been a conscious effort then, not when we're 35. You get what I'm saying? And listen, I wish all the best for her. I hope she is the person that's perfect for some man and they have happily ever after. However, if we're being realistic, I'd say, listen, we're at the tail end. I give her 1 to 2 years max. And that's if to get the things that you want. And just in this part, there has to be a masculine figure in her life that tells her, like, listen, we need to start adding structure to this. We need to start saying, listen, we need to go on as many dates as possible. We need to be clear in intentions on these dating apps or whatever it is, however you get men, whatever. You have to let that note be clear. Like, listen, I'm 35. I want to have children. I want to be married. You know what I'm saying? And if the person's not with that, it's on to the next, right? But again, you're in rush mode. And a lot of guys are going to see that. And so that's really the only piece of advice that you get, man. Is like, bro, go get your man. But a lot of people, they don't want to humble themselves.
If you're single and you want to be in a partner, we've just got to bite the bullet. Okay, we have to do things differently. You've had that saying, doing.
And then listen, I have to bite the bullet. You're making it seem like it's a horrible thing. Like it's like, oh, I have to be somebody completely different. Oh, I have to do this. And it's like, that's not the talk of somebody who really wants these things to happen, right? Because they're excited to get these things done. You get what I'm saying? Not like, oh, I actually have to put in effort now. You should have always been putting in effort. You get what I'm saying? That's the type of thing where it's like, she probably didn't mean it that way, but at the same time, she probably did. Where it's like, now I have to put in effort. And it's like, yeah, right. If I were to see you, the moment I see you not putting in effort, I know you're not trying to be a wife. I know you're not trying to be married. I know you're not trying to have kids. And so just listening to you, I'd be like, nope, immediately. I wouldn't even I wouldn't say it in my mind. It'd just be like, nope. Just by how you talk. Because again, like I said, she's not an ugly person. She has her hair done. She just finished. She got the shoulders out. You know what I'm saying? This looks feng shui-ish. You know what I'm saying? It looks like a woman. But at the same time, it's like, what does the mental say?
Doing the same thing every day or over and over again is the the answer to insanity or something like that. So we've got to change something. We've got to do something different, me included. I'm also saying this advice to myself. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to switch it up. It's 2024. I don't want another year going where I'm just like single and this. Firstly, I don't have the time to be messing around like that. And I just got to be a bit more, come on, going for what I want in a conscious way. And just being a bit more proactive, I guess. And so 2024, I'm going to be a bit more proactive, especially in my love life. This is the most important for me, my focus. And hopefully I won't feel like a child anymore. I'm hoping I won't feel like a child. And actually, I also do hope that I feel like a child, because I do have a sense of like a young spirit, a young soul, child, maybe childlike naivety to me, in a sense that maybe I haven't experienced all these things. So I guess there is that. But I guess that makes, it also kind of ages you well. I think so, but I don't care. I'm happy to age. I'm happy to age and give me the responsibility, because I'm happy to age young and still give me the responsibility. But I'm ready. I'm so ready for that. And so I just want to let other women know that if you're feeling the same, you kind of sense that we can change this. We can change the trajectory of our life by putting conscious effort and thought into what we want. And I've really understood over the last few years the power of speaking and doing something. The power of action as well is so important, because I'm the worst at procrastinating. I'm also really bad at keeping habits the same. So I've really got to keep practicing changing my habits. And that is what 2024 I am planning to do, is not do what I've always done. I want to do something that I've never done, something that I've done, do something that I've never done before. I want to change it up. I want to switch it up for 2024. I want the trajectory of my life to be different. And the only way it's going to be different is if I behave differently and become a person that behaves in a way that I want, where I have all these things in line. And, I'm a great believer of manifestation. I'm a great believer of what you put out there is what you get. So now I've got to back it up with action. And so that's what I'm going to do. And
if you're a believer in that, then what are all the actions that you've been doing for the past 15 years? Because that's exactly what you're going to get for the next 15 years. That doesn't just go away. You know what I'm saying? It's like action, reaction. Sometimes those reactions are delayed. They're going to wait till you're at this age to where now you can't get the things that you want, simply because you told the world for the past 15 years that you didn't really care about it based on the actions that you decided to take.
Hopefully I can turn this around. I really want to come back here on this podcast and be like, you know what? Here I am. Here's my child. I would love that for myself.
No, man. This is exactly what it is. You're getting exactly what you believe in. Listen to this.
Hopefully I can turn this around. I really want to come back here on this podcast and be like, you know what? Here I am. Here's my child. I would love that for myself.
No man, no husband. You don't want a family. You don't want to be married. Why would it's like, this is the thing. This is what I think I get, and I get why she does this, because a lot of women do this. They'll make sure they leave out the man because they know how other women are going to react to that. Oh, you don't need a man. Oh, a man's not everything. Imagine saying that having a man will make you complete. Blah, 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 blah. But my thing is, are you a defender of your dreams or not? Or does the value of other women who clearly don't care about you hold their opinion higher than you do your own dreams and wants? You said, I hope to sit here and next time I was like, here's my child. You didn't say my husband, but deep down, we know you want one. So why wouldn't you include that with the child? It's one of those things where it's like, imagine if you had a husband. It's like, where else would you emotionally invalidate or physically invalidate him at? Oh, we did this. Oh, my child. We wouldn't say our child. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of women really need to understand that they don't think of men as human beings, and that's really messing them up, because how can you care about somebody who you think doesn't need to be cared for?
I would love that. I would love to have a child like in a year's time, and then it's very ambitious. I would love to meet someone that really understands me and I understand them, and we're just on the same page, that wants a family. I really want, to have that responsibility and to experience that. And but and then probably when I do have that, hopefully hopefully I will have that, then I can come back and be like, Hopefully I would, when I have experienced that, maybe I don't know, maybe my story will change, but I don't think it will. I think it will change me and make me a better person to have more responsibility. So yeah, I'm the 35-year-old woman that's never been married, never had kids, and is single. Here I am. So if you are in any of these positions, women, ladies, comment below. Tell me if you understand this feeling that I'm feeling. Tell me if you know what I'm talking about. It's just a feeling. Women, you understand. You'll get it. Okay, I know you'll get it. And let me know if you.
I gotta see what they're saying. I was like this at 35, rushed into a marriage with a narcissist, and now I'm divorced and childless at 42. Just don't lower your standards because you're feeling this way. You will find someone. See, and again, when you're at that age, you're like, oh, I'll just take what I can get, right? And then of course he's not masculine. He's not a leader. He doesn't have a family plan or anything like that. So then you end up popping out. You end up leading the relationship. And where do you leave it? So ruin. And now you're on the internet calling this guy that you decided to open your legs for and procreate with a straight narcissist. I'm also 35, never married or children, feel like a child too. Same exact thing. Such an odd feeling. I keep reminding myself. Societal timelines are just not real, but man, how you are not alone. Didn't I say that at the beginning? I said there's gonna be somebody that says, oh, don't listen to society's timeline. Yeah, okay. I'm 45, married at 21, but marriage failed. I have 3 kids, 20, 18, 14, still feel like a child. I don't think the marriage, kids. And that's the thing that I want to talk about. I want to say, what was the plan? What was the family plan? Tell me the family plan. What was your position? A lot of people don't know. A lot of people just get into things because the TVs and movies said to. Oh, you're in love? Okay, go ahead and get married. What does that mean? That's a completely different thing. Having a family, running a family dynamic is different than just saying, oh, let's get married because we're in love. What do you guys have in common? What do you value? How do you raise your children? These are conversations that if I had a future wife, I want to have these talks while we're dating, maybe even before we're dating, just to make sure that we're on the same page. That way, when we get deeper and deeper into our relationship, there is zero confusion on what's expected out of either of us. All right, guys, I'm gonna cut that here. I've been on a yapping spree lately. Did you guys enjoy this video? Let me know your thoughts down in the description. Like the video if you like the video, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. All right, peace out.